everyone, welcome back to Amy's Bookshelf and welcome to TBR Clue for May. So TBR Clue is my way of picking books, picking 9 prompts that I read for to reveal cards and therefore not give me a punishment in my next month's reading. And this month we're going to be a little different. So I normally start off these videos by telling you how I did, and I will do that. But I'm also going to start this video off kind of with a caveat. I'm not sure how I'm going to have finished off this month with my prompts. So we're gonna kind of go with a, maybe I did it, maybe I don't, and you will have to find out my wrap up if I did or not. I'll tell you what my plans are at the very least. So we'll start off with what I have read for which prompt. I will not be giving a review or anything like that. And this is not all the books I've read either. In case you're new here, I do have a playlist with all of the rules that I will link for you down below in the description and in the cards. So the first book for the haul, I had to read a book that was out of my comfort zone. I read The Time Machine. For the lounge, I had to read a Christian fiction book and I read Sold on Love. That was an arc and I really thoroughly enjoyed it and I read it way ahead of time. The next one was a dining room book, which was a book that's like a favorite, and I chose to reinterpret that as a book that's like a favorite TV show of mine right now, which was actually another arc, which is called Turn to Me, and that one is like a treasure hunting show because I'm really big into The Curse of Oak Island right now. The kitchen is where we're gonna get a little maybe dicey. So the question is, or the prompt was 2020 TBR book list, and I changed that book from Little Lord Fauntleroy to The Crushing Depth. And this one I am 45% of the way through. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish it. And just in case I don't, I will be pulling a punishment book in case I don't get the cards correct. For the ballroom, I had to read a book for the wrong season, and I read Peril at Owl Park. This book takes place at Christmas. For the conservatory, I had to read TBR Vet, and I read Anne of Windy Poplars. For the billiards room of reading a second chance author, I am going to shoehorn Addie LaRue in here because I had started the book like 6 months ago. So I'm giving the book a second chance, hypothetically, V.E. Schwab, even though I did finish it and love it. I'm gonna stretch that one because I have not yet read or even started the book I'm release reading for that book. Prompt in 2 different varieties. So I'm hoping to read Night Over Water, which is by Ken Follett, or I'm hoping to read the next Reese Bowen book, but I don't know. For the library, I had to read a book with a Clue-like character, and I read the next Eve Rowan book, which is Movie Land, as there's a character in there which she works with her partner, and his name, or his nickname, is Dunkin' Donuts, because his name is Dunkin' and he loves junk food. And I felt like that was a really Clue-like character name, and he's very appropriate for the Clue board game. For the study, I read it. I managed Gone with the Wind. I finished this mammoth of a book. I did it. I did a vlog of my feelings, but I'm going to be doing a sit-down discussion of the themes and the characters and a lot of different things that happen in this book that I really enjoyed, as well as things I didn't enjoy. So I did finish this though for over 500 pages. So that is a real big win for me. And the punishment book I did finish. I did finish Henry VIII, and that one is, I give it 3 stars. It was not an amazing book, but I'm glad I have read it, and thankfully I actually kept it on my TBR and finally read it. So my official guess, even though I probably shouldn't be making an official guess, is Mrs. Peacock in the library with the knife. I know that I could still finish. I hope I still finish. I have 5 days left doing filming, but library, Mrs. Peacock, and the knife, the dagger. I'm not used to calling it by that. So I have completed, but if I have not completed, I will be pulling out a book just in case I have failed my 2020 TBR jar book. So let's pull out one of those now, and we will see what book I will have to read in case I do fail that book. So let's just give that a whirl, see what happens. I will tell you also next month's TBR if I do that one. So this one is Jane Boleyn by Julia Fox. This one I think is a non-fiction. It might be fiction, but it is about the Tudor court. So I'll be diving back into that world again in case I do fail. Actually, I'm gonna put this book back in here. Yeah, I'll put the picture on screen here, but that will be the book. And if I do finish it, great, and I will pull it back out. But in case I don't need to, paper will stay in here. So before we do the cards, I'm going to pull my 2 author jar names out. I have read my Christopher Marlowe play. I have started my Ira Levin book. I am enjoying it so far, but I've been really dealing with bad migraines so far this month. So first name, William Still. That's a nonfiction. So I have actually been really struggling to pick up books that I am at all wanting to read. So that's a problem. Winston Graham, and that's a thriller. I know that much. So I'll grab those 2 books. But yeah, I'm working my way through Ira Levin and I'm enjoying it. So I will be continuing to work through him even though he's no longer applicable to this month. So I'll grab these 2 authors. So I have here Marnie, and this one is a book that inspired Hitchcock, and I am very excited. I don't know much about this. It's kind of on the thick side, but it says that Marnie appears to be charming and effective or efficient, a true professional, but inwardly she's unscrupulous, a rebel against society and the law. So I don't know much else, but I think this one is going to be interesting, especially if it inspired Hitchcock. Then this one is The Underground Railroad, a selection of authentic narratives. So this is by William Still, and this is an abridged copy that I have. And it is on the little thick side, but it's okay. It's not actually that bad. It's close to 400 pages. And this has, I'm going to have to figure that out. It looks like maybe 25 to 30 stories of people who have escaped from slavery. So I think this would be a very powerful book. And I will be definitely reading these ones or trying to read them. Hopefully my migraine will let me do some reading this month. Now we'll shuffle the cards. So in regards to my buddy read plans, I am buddy reading the next book, which is called The Redeemer, with Berna and Nikki again. I don't know anything about that one, so that'll be good. I don't know anything, and I hope it's better than the last one, to be completely frank. Then I'm also going to be reading another Enola Holmes book, which I read the first one with Chris from Chris's Corner. And I enjoyed it, but I wanted more mystery, so hopefully I can get more mystery from the third book. So I do need to get them from my library, both of them actually, but I will be trying to get that one. I don't know which one is the third book, to be completely honest. But Enola Holmes, I'll be continuing in that series. And then let me tell you about the readathons. There are too many to count. Maybe not too many to count, but there are too many really going on. I'll be doing Mary Shelley May in some regard. I'll be probably trying to read the Mary Wollstonecraft book. I have that on audio as well as in physical form. So that'll be a strong attempt of mine. I also will be trying to do May of the Moderns. And then I will also be doing, oh goodness, that's not going in. Let me try that again, focusing. I will also be doing a historical reading readathon in May, which is hosted by Katie from Books and Things. And then there was another one. I need to check what I was thinking. That was it for those ones, but there is, of course, the book cover book club and the buzzwordathon and the reading your bookshelf challenge, all of which I try to participate in every month. So it's going to be a little bit hectic, but I'm always here for the hectic reading challenges. So we're done this. Let's move on to the board. First prompt is for readathon or read along. So we have done the board. I am going to just do it from here. I am honestly not feeling great and my migraine is through the roof today and I still really wanted to do this. So we're gonna do it sitting down and I have not moved. But the first one is the hall. Now the hall had the prompt, it's right here in front of me, but the hall had the prompt of read along or readathon, which was brilliant because basically I'm doing a year-long read along of the Anne series, but that's not this book. And we're doing many readathons for May. So I thought, what's a better prompt to pull for this month? So the book I'm picking is the only book I'll be reading for the Mary Shelley May readathon, and that is the Vindication of the Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft. I would love to read more, but I'm not going to commit myself to anything else. I just want to read this one. And if I have a chance, I'll read more by Mary Shelley. I would think that would be awesome to do, but I just don't have the brain power to say more. I might switch this up for another one of Mary Shelley's books or something related to Mary Shelley. Right now, this is what I'm going to pick. I have an audiobook of this, and I would really like to get to this one pretty soon. I think this would be a really great choice. So I have this one here. This would be something I would like to get off my shelf as an unread book. To be honest, I think I'd like to keep it, but I would like to take it off my unread book list, essentially. The Lounge is a long title. So for the next one, it was a long title. And for this one, I'm going to go with my Enola Holmes book, which I have now discovered is called The Case of the Bizarre Banquet, which I think is quite succinctly a long title. This is book 3 in the Enola Holmes series. This is by Nancy Springer. And like I said, I'm buddy reading this with Chris from Chris's Corner. I will link their channel down below. And it's short. It looks like it's 160 pages. So hopefully this will be a fast read, and hopefully we can get into more mystery, as the world has been pretty built up now. Dining Room is Dr. Orchid, or The Color White. For the dining room, we got Dr. Orchid, which I was like, well, I don't have any poison books that I want to read. I don't need a poison book. I have a doctor in Anne's House of Dreams. So this is by Ella Montgomery, and I am very excited to pick this one up. I'm not going to say who the doctor is in case someone spoils, but I'm actually going to say it now. So in case you don't want to know, skip ahead. But in this one, Gilbert is a doctor. So I'm going to be counting that as Dr. Orchid for my correlation prompt, as I will be reading this one for the Anne Along. And I am excited to get onto this book. Last book was a bit of a disappointment, to say the least. And this one I remember loving a lot. So we're moving on to Anne's House of Dreams. The kitchen is The Wrench. In the kitchen, we had the wrench. And for that wrench, I am going with one of the descriptions, which was to distort or to take out of context. And I'm going to go with Marnie here, which is one of my author polls. So this one, it sounds like from the back that so Mark Rutland is trying to figure out what she is, and when she starts working for the family, a small family firm, but two of the partners are trying to get her attention, and Mark Rutland is trying to figure out what she is doing. So he's trying to figure her out, and she is like, is she a liar or a thief, and what's going on? Why is she always so uncaring? And it sounds like the facts are being distorted. So I'm going to count that as wrenching, and wrenching facts out of place. So I'm going to go with that one. And I'm very excited to pick this one up ever since I read the back. And I was like, why have I not read this in the years I've owned it? So I'm going to pick this one up for The Wrench. The Ballroom is a random page, line, and word. So for the random page, letter, or page, line, word, I tried to do it this way. So you can see my footage here. So one of the prompts is word, line, page, or page, line, word. And that means that we have to do a randomizer, and I have chosen to go with Gone with the Wind as my word, page, line, word. So I'm going to randomize, obviously, a page number, and then the line number, and then the word in that line. And we will come up with a word that has to be associated with the next book that I'm pulling for that prompt. So there's 1,037 pages. So we are typing that in, and let's generate a number. 493. So that's like dead center in the middle. So we have to find that. I opened up to page 488. So thankfully close. So I need to get a few more pages over, and then I will count the number of lines on that page. All right, 1, 2, 3. 37. So 37. So we're going to take off the first two numbers, and we're going to generate 33. I'm going to count up from the bottom this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 37, 36, 35, 34, 33. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 words on this line. Let's see what word I have to work off of. Okay, 15. Generate. Word number 6. Okay, so word number 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The word what? Okay, I have to think about that. Anyways, you'll see my result now. So for my footage, I had a lot of trouble. And then after that, I was like, I had the word what? So I randomized and randomized and randomized because my quote, my line that I was actually pulling from, I'll read it to you, had very few words that actually were helpful. So the quote or the line I was reading from was, it doesn't give much away, so I'm not gonna be spoiling the text for you, but it said, I swear I don't know what to do with myself now that my darlings are. That was the line. So I finally landed on the word now. I had a lot of the word I and a lot of the word what. I'm like, I don't have anything to go off of. So I landed on the word now. My final one. I'm like, okay, I'll take this word. So the word now I took as a word I need to read now, or the book I need to read now. So I'm going to be reading Elegance of the Hedgehog, or another book I just purchased now, or a book I'm in the mood for now. I'm going to go with the book I need to read now for book club because that is my next book. I'm not sure what the author's name is. I have it on ebook and I have heard it's very pretentious. So I will be seeing what I think of it. I don't know much else, but it's called The Elegance of a Hedgehog, which sounds interesting enough, and I will give it a shot. The Conservatory is poetry. The next one I got was poetry. And for poetry, I decided to go with this one, which is a little poetry collection I had picked up a while ago, and I've been waiting for a good reason to pick it up. And this is called Hasba of Shirza. So this is 30 poems, and this is translated by Peter Avery and John Heath Stubbs. And this is a very short collection of poetry from, I believe it's the Middle East. I would have to double check that. But this is from the 18th century. So, the first translation was done in the 18th century. So this is very old poetry, and I am excited to pick this up. I've been kind of holding off until I get a poetry prompt or something that's very specific to ancient literature. So this will be a good reason to pick it up. This will also be for my book covered book club prompt, which has people not looking at you from the cover. So these people are all looking away, or most of them are at least. So I'm going to count that for that prompt. While we're at it, we can also add this for my Read Your Bookshelf challenge, which is to read a new to you author, and I've never read from this author before, so we'll go with that one too. The Billiards Room is a book to buy. For the Billiards Room, we got the book to buy prompt, and that means a book that I purchased solely because of BookTube, and honestly, I really want to reread this one, and I will go over my historical readathon books. That's what the readathon's called. Historical readathon prompts later after this whole thing, but I really want to reread this one, so this is a book I did actually buy just because of BookTube. So Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I read this one in November, loved it, and I would like to reread it. So this is a book I purchased solely because of BookTube. I knew nothing about it. I saw it at a secondhand store and I was like, cheap, I'll grab it. So good. I really enjoyed it. And I loved how, even though I'm not a big horror fan, I thoroughly loved it. So I am going to add this to the TBR, and I'm really wanting to reread this one and see if I can spot things now that I know the end result earlier on. So I'm going to add this in, and I think it's going to be a really great chance to reread this one. So quick in as well, because I always say I want to reread books and then I tend to forget about that. So now I'm going to do it within like 6 months, which will be amazing. The Library is a new book. The next one was a new book, so a book I purchased brand new. And I definitely purchased this brand new because I purchased all of these brand new, which is The Underground Railroad by William Still. I purchased all of these editions brand new from Chapters or Indigo, which they're called now. I think I purchased this when it was called Chapters though. But yeah, so I'll be trying to read this one. I think it might be really heavy and I don't know if I'll be able to mentally handle that with my migraines, but I will be doing a very good try at it. And that's never a reason why I can't read a book, but I'm going to, give it a good shot. So this one is going to be a really strong endeavor of mine, especially since I just finished reading Gone with the Wind and I don't agree with a lot of what it was said there. So I'm going to be trying this one and I am excited to read some own voices stories from that exact time period. But yes, it's quite a thick one with a lot of stories from that time period, and I'll be interested to see what they say for living through that time period and how it was for them. And the study, we'll go this one, is the lounge. The last room was the lounge. Well, this last one was the study. We got the lounge. But for that one, I'm going to go with my buzzword book. Well, I have 3 choices, but the one I'm going to stick in here because it feels most lounge-like to me is North Point Chalet by Deborah Whitesmith. When you go to a chalet, you kind of lounge around. That's kind of my going with this word association. So I'm going to probably go with this one, and I really do want to finish off this series this year. This is a Jane Austen retelling, and I'm going to save the other retelling for Jane Austen July. So hopefully I can read this one now, and then I won't have to read 2 of them in Jane Austen July and burn myself out. So I'm hoping this one will get done this month. So the word north is in the title, which is a direction word, and that's my buzzword. So this one will be good. I don't remember much. This one's about Kathy Moore, and I think I got 32 pages in before, so I'd need to restart it, but I do really like these editions, these retellings of Jane Austen. So we're gonna give it a good shot, and I really hope to reread it, or not reread it, but restart it and read it this month. So in regards to May of the Moderns, I'm not hitting any prompts, which is kind of sad. I just was pulling books I was interested in, and none of the books I pulled hit any prompts, but I will try if I am actually able to read, which has been a real struggle physically. If I'm able to read, I will pull books that are specific for those prompts, and I will definitely endeavor to hit those off. So that's something I will be trying, but I have books for historical readathon May, but let me go through those ones now. So I have here an Agatha Christie, which I'm only pulling because it fits like 2 of the readathon prompts for the historical readathon. And I'm like, this is actually not a bad one to reread. I have it on audio. I might just do it that way. And that one is Death Comes at the End. So this one would fulfill the prompt of having a classic that is a historical fiction. It's a modern classic, which is historical fiction. This one will go for my May of the Moderns, even if it does not fit any of the prompts. So there's that. But this one will be that one. It also has a speculative element, even though that's not actually speculative in the end. So there's that one. I would like to finish this one off, maybe reread it for the first time. And I would like to, enjoy it better this time around, now that I know all of the things. So Death Comes at the End would be my Agatha Christie. I would like to get to Peril at End House. But I don't own a physical copy, so we'll see if that happens or not. In regards to other historical fiction books, I have a pile here, which I'm not committing to. Two of the other challenges is to read a book set in your country and not set in your country, like dual together. So Sister to the Wolf by Maxine Trottier is set in Canada, and I have not read this in a long time, so this would be a good one to reread. It's kind of upper middle grade, younger YA kind of thing, so that might be good. And then this one is The Ramsay Scalp, which is set in England in 1299. So it's very old historical fiction. But yes, and this one I think is also set in like 15 something, maybe no, 16 something. It is not like recent history kind of thing. So those 2. And then this one would also fulfill the prompt of having a part of history that I don't read a lot about, so that would be nice. And then I have this one, which is Queen of the North. And as I was looking at it, I'm like, I should really pick this up eventually. And I read the inside flap, and it's like about the Tudor, well, not the Tudor era, but like just before the Tudor era. And I've been reading a lot of books about that lately. So I thought this would be a good one for an era I read a lot about, and it's beautiful. Enola Holmes also works for historical fiction because it's like set in the past, but I don't really know anything about that particular book, so I can't say anything more. But then Mexican Gothic is historical fiction as well, and it's set in the 50s, which I do read a fair amount about that because it's like Agatha Christie era. And this one has a definite speculative element. So I'm going to go into this one saying this one's speculative because it's definitely like, it's a horror element for sure. So gonna keep this one in there. And that would be my historical reading for the month of May. If I can get to them all, and if not, that's totally fine. I'm happy just to read one. Hi, Next Day Naomi here to catch you up on something because I forgot about the last or the final book support group, which I will be participating in again. There's so many readathons that I forgot, and I just blanked. But many of my books are part of series, and that's actually a goal that I have been working on. So last month, or being the month that I'm currently in, April, my goal was to actually get up to date in 5 series. I am up to date in I think 4 of them officially, although I do have an arc for the next book that in the series, so I do need to catch up on that one. But I am trying to get up to date or continue at least 5 series every month. So I'm trying to get on track. So for the final book support group, 2 weeks, which is from the 2nd to the 15th of May, I have several books I'll be reading for that. So one of which is North Point Chalet. Even though it's a companion book, it's part of the series. That's actually kind of one of the prompts on the bingo card, even though I'm not going by the bingo card. Also, I have Anne's House of Dreams, and I also have Enola and the Bizarre Banquet, which is another one which I am starting on the 2nd with Chris. And then I have none of the other ones specifically for this prompt, but I will try to be reading the final 2 Mary Pope Osborne books for the Treehouse series, Magic Treehouse series I have left. I have the last 2 ones left and out from the library right now, and I will hopefully finish those off on the 2nd. And The Redeemer also is a book that I will be trying to read during those 2 weeks as well with Berna and Nikki, and that's the next book in that series. So I have several series on the go during this time, so hopefully I can, you know, keep up to date with those ones, but I forgot about the final book support group. It's not me if I'm not forgetting something, I feel like. So yeah, not to forget, not to mention those things. Anyways, I'm also doing that one as well. Back to my outro. The only other book that didn't get on here was The Redeemer, which I will be definitely reading with Verna and Nikki, and their channels will be linked down below, along with everyone else who I talked about. I just haven't gotten that one on my TBR yet, but I will be reading it for sure. And I'm hoping, really hoping it's a lot better than the last one. So my series can continue on in a good spree. I hope it's a lot more exciting, I should say. But that's not for today's read, don't worry. I need to let myself just move on from the last book. So I know this might seem like a lot, but I'm actually happy with what I've picked. I really just picked what I wanted to and made it work for the prompts that I was given. And I am actually really happy about this because a lot of it's just historical fiction or like, and I haven't read a lot of that lately, but the historical fiction I want to read or reread, or the kind of high action, high suspense books that I'm actually in the mood for. And if I do need to read Jane Boleyn, I checked and it's a nonfiction about the wife of, or the sister-in-law, I should say, of Anne Boleyn. So I will be reading that one if I cannot finish my last book for April's TBR. So I'm going to be cracking on that, but I won't be mad if I have to read a nonfiction about Jane Boleyn either. So I hope it will go well. I don't have a nonfiction on this TBR, but I will be finding something if I don't have Jane Boleyn. So thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new here. All that good stuff. Leave a comment down below if you stayed to the end and if you enjoyed picking books with me or if you enjoyed what I picked. Please also let me know down below if you've read any of these and you recommend picking any of these for sure to read and if I should prioritize any of them. I would love to hear your thoughts on these as well. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.